Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television, Radio, and Podcast Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. I love riding with you. You can find us on television, and it's channel 182 on Charter Communications up close to Huntsville, Alabama. Another way you can find us is Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on the newscasters.com. Continue sending email. They absolutely make my day. That's Donna at donnasedge.com. Donna at donnasedge.com. Okay, we're going to talk about gardening today. Garden production timeline for the South. And I'm just telling you something. I love gardening, and I can hardly wait. I would garden all year round if I could, but you got to have some kind of time of rest, right? So in the times of quote unquote rest, that's when I'm doing other things in production for other type shows for you so that you can have entertainment of your choice. But let's go ahead and start talking about the garden production. I have some videos for you to look at too, just as feeling me just outside, just doing stuff out in the garden. But right now I'm talking about the South, and this is pretty much, all of South Alabama and near Tennessee. And also, now Tennessee gets a little bit colder. You can get some ice up in the mountains. So, that may vary just a little bit, but the best thing to do is go to the USDA's website. Type in your zip code, and then you'll get a total list, just like I have, a list of the timeline on when you can plant everything and when you can harvest and all those wonderful things about the summertime in your garden. So let's go ahead and talk about some of those things. Now, I have some Yukon Gold potatoes, and we set those out in early March, which means, guess what? I'm going to be harvesting those things this week. I can hardly wait. So you'll notice, and I'm going to show you in a video, but you'll notice in the video where the leaves they're all dying back. I mean, they look like they're dead. What has happened to my potatoes? Well, what's happened is nature's taking course, and nature's saying, hey, I got some really good potatoes down here under the ground. And see, you can't dig everything up and look at it just to see, because see, I'm that kind of person. I'm a visual. Just look at the leaves and look at the stems. Look at everything. If it starts dying back, you're ready to harvest. But now, before you harvest, make sure you've had a few days of no rain. You really don't need any moisture down there. So let's go ahead and look at one video. It's a very, very short one. And then we'll come back and I'll talk a little bit more. And then we'll look at another video. Okay, for this segment, we have blueberries. Look at those big, beautiful things. They are gorgeous. And so I've been sneaking some of them out of here, and so is Phil, and they're really sweet. Now, these are some blueberries that we set out last year. Now, we've got two different varieties, and that's what you want to do when you have these awesome, awesome blueberries. And so this is a total different variety, and what they do is they feed off of each other, and you want a mama and a papa of each variety. So this variety, there's one of these, either the mama or the papa. I haven't figured out what they are yet, and there's either mama or papa of that variety. Then we have another variety right here, mama, papa, whatever. And this is the other mama, papa. And take a look. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh boy, blueberries are so good for you. I can't wait to have a blueberry pie out of those. Okay. I can hardly wait for the blueberry pie, the blueberry jam, the blueberry juice, the blueberry everything. Now, let me tell you about gardening is, if you're impatient, kind of like I am, it's kind of hard, okay, because that first year when you plant those blueberries and you get your trees out there and your grapes and the muscadines, all of those things, you're not going to have that huge harvest the first year. You got to wait and let them mature. You got to let mama and papa do their thing, if you know what I mean, and that happens in plants as well. Let's go ahead and look at the second video. It's just a little bit longer, but I think you'll find it interesting. Okay, for this segment, we have Hey guys, just wanted to show y'all a couple of things. So I've been experimenting on a few things. And so I got this cabbage, and it's really an awesome looking cabbage. It was really good for the coleslaw that we had over the holiday, on Memorial Day. So I stuck it in water. I took this part off because it was, you can see the core on it right there. It's real hard core. But I decided just to throw this in water, and look what happened. See, I've got some of these little roots that are coming out. So what I'm going to do, this is for just total entertainment purposes. I'm going to go ahead and plant this in just kind of it's a sparse area in the government. And let's just see if we get a cabbage plant out of this. So I'm going to try to get this and face it where you can see it. It's going to be a little bit of movement here, but let's go ahead and see if we can get this ready for you. Okay, let's move it back just a bit. There we go. Now that'll probably help. But anyway, this is where I'm going to plant this cabbage. Okay. Now I'm going to be really careful, see, with those little roots that are on there, because I want to take good care of them. But this will be a good area because this is going to be a great place, because I've got I don't know if you can see them, but this is going to be where the cucumbers are going to be. And we've got some of them that are already putting out roots. But we have cattle panels that are over here, and really your cucumbers and any kind of a lettuce or anything like that does really well with a shadow. And we're going to have the shadow cascading with the cucumbers coming across the cattle panel. So let's go ahead and put this in the ground. We're going to see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to, a little area right here in the bed, and I'm going to put it like this. Now the roots need to be touching, okay, in the ground, but then we're going to keep this part fairly visible so you can see what I'm doing. And we're going to come out in a few days, and we're going to see if this worked. We're going to see if we're going to actually get a cabbage plant out of the bottom of the cabbage that we had. Okay, now, another thing I've been doing is, you have to kind of, on your tomato plants and stuff like that, you cut leaders off of it constantly. So I've got some roots that are growing out of this one, so you can kind of see right here. I'm not ready to plant it yet. I want it to have more roots. However, I put this one in the ground earlier, and take a look at this. Wowzer. Look at all those roots that are on there. So they've been kind of, I should have already planted these, but what I'm going to do is lightly, see how I'm moving the roots? I don't want them to be crowded. So I'm going to plant this rogue. I don't even know which tomato plant variety this is. I'm going to go ahead and tear off some of these bottom leaves. They're going to go away. And what we're going to do is lay this thing in the ground. And what I mean by laying it in the ground, we're going to lay it this way, and this is what's going to happen. So your root is virtually going to begin here, up here. And then when you lay it down into the ground, it's going to have a real good root system. And guess what? Stronger root system means stronger tomatoes. So here we go. I'm going to put the plant right here, and we're going to see. I may have to kind of adjust that just a bit. No, let's kind of get it, go back this way some. Okay, so there you can see, there it is right there in all its glory. But what I'm going to do, and I'll show you, I'll just demonstrate. What I'll do is just going ahead and plant a little area. That doesn't need to be real deep, but deep enough. And see how I'm laying this down into the ground like that, and I'm taking good care. Let's do it a little bit farther out this way. So what's going to happen is we're going to have this rogue tomato plant coming up, but it's actually going to like where it's put. Okay, and it's about to start raining, so I'm not going to water it because of that. But anyway, here's the tomato plant that came up just from a cutting that I took off of another one. Now what I'm going to do is loosen this up just a little bit. I want you to see what I'm talking about. So here we go. As you can see, that's the cattle panel I was telling you about. So just right over here at the very end, you see those are cucumbers, and we're beginning to get blooms on them already, and they're actually beginning to start growing. Hope I'm not bumping it too bad for you, but you can see right here, this one is already holding on to that cattle panel. So what's going to happen just in a few days, all of these are going to be holding on to the cattle panel, and they're going to start growing up and over. And when that happens, that's going to cause a shade to happen for this tomato plant and also for that cabbage plant. So I just wanted to bring you out here to the garden so you just kind of see what I'm doing. And we'll come back a little bit later And I'll go on ahead and plant this one. Okay, so he's not ready yet. He needs to have, those roots need to grow just a little bit more. But I'm just telling you, you only have to buy a plant one time. And after that, you've got plants coming out everywhere. I'll go ahead and walk you and let you see some of these. These are sunflowers that I set out. I don't think they're liking all this extra rain. But those are sunflowers coming out. And then you also see some watermelons. Now these are going to be kind of medium-sized watermelons when they come up. Now I also have these, and these are going to be small. They're going to be about the size of maybe they might make it to the size of a football. I'm not sure, but anyway, they'll be doing something pretty soon. Then I wanted to show you, because of all this rain we've had, they're turning yellow. I've got to do something about that. But there are several blooms that are coming out on the cantaloupes. Don't those look nice? And then also look at all that beautiful lettuce that's coming up right there. I'm really excited about that. See, they've got the shade cloth on them. And lettuce here in the South doesn't grow real well in the hot sun. You got to put a shade cloth, or at least grow something like, beans or something that's going to follow up on the trellis. Now, once the beans start growing and they start going up over this trellis right here, I'm going to be removing that shade cloth. But let me walk you back here just for a minute. And let me give you another glimpse. Oh, look at the zinnias. The zinnias are really happy here. They're doing really well. But anyway, this is the other side. I love all the lettuce. I've already had some of this, the purple lettuce right there, and it is awesome. So let's go ahead and take you back here and let you see these green beans. Take a look. See, they're already starting the process. We've got a little runner. And these two seem to be competing with each other. I don't know if they're a couple of racehorses or what it is. But one, like tomorrow, I'll come out and this one will be taller. And then the next day, this one will be taller. They're just fighting each other for the finish line. But the neat thing about this is all of these green beans are going to be climbing up here. And they're going to work as a natural shade cloth for all of those lettuces that I've got planted back there. So see, you can do planting, just be really smart about it. And again, here are the cantaloupes. Now with the cantaloupes, I have some awesome dandelion growing out here, and I'm really excited about that. Don't have to worry about Phil not cutting the grass. He loves to cut the grass. But the problem is he cuts down my dandelions. So I decided to go on ahead and just put them in a bed. But thank you so much for watching. So we'll keep an eye on that tomato plant and also on that cabbage that I planted out there just a few minutes ago. We'll be right back. Okay, let's go into a break, because when we come back, I want to talk to you about a timeline. And again, you can get this timeline putting your zip code into the little bracket, your timeline for wherever you live. This was going to be for Abbeville, South Carolina. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody just kind of hang in there. Hang tight, okay? We'll be right back. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. You know, finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Okay, we are back. Thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. It's always so much fun to be with you. This is a variety show. So sometimes you're going to see me talking to politicians. Sometimes you're going to see me talking with business people out there. Sometimes you're going to see me talking about gardening and just crafts and arts, just whatever. But continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com. Right now you're asking me for gardening shows, and that's what I'm giving you, gardening shows. So let's talk a little bit more. Well, before we get started on the timeline, I want to show you another video. And it's a very short one. We'll be right back in just a minute. Okay, let's go down to the section now with the grapes. These are some grapes that we planted last year. And they're kind of showing out. And we didn't have a whole lot of time to get these things and spread them. But we're letting them spread out on this fence. And you can see there's going to be a whole bunch of them. Now, this is actually a seedless muscadine. And I'm excited about that because the only thing that I've been able to use them for, basically because of all the seeds in them, I just made jams out of them. But I'm excited about getting these things and putting them in a salad. You can see some of them coming out right here. But I want to show you this one. These are seedless grapes. And take a good look at these big mamas. They're all over the place. Now, these did not bloom, did not do a thing last year. But see, we just set them out last year. But take a look now. Aren't they beautiful? And so we went on ahead and got some more plants. By the way, this kind of keeps birds away. They see this bright light, and those are just old tin cans that they'll cut up. Again, some more of the seedless grapes. And so let's take another walk right here and take another look. And I'm surprised they've got these on here. But I'm excited about the grapes and how that's turning out. So see, you can see the difference between first year grapes and then second year grapes. Now I'm just blown over that the second year grapes have as many grapes on them as they do, but they have to, that they'll grow a big trunk, and it'll be, eventually it'll be huge. There are grapevines that are hundreds of years old. So if you get them started, have patience with them. Okay, look, I'm one to tell somebody to have patience, but have patience with them, okay? And that second year, you'll have some. And then the third year, about the fourth year, bang, watch out. You know, you just take care of them. You need to prune them every single year. And it's going to look like you're killing them, but you're not. So make sure that you do prune them. That's the key. I've asked so many preppers about that. My grapevine, what am I supposed to do with it? And they'll say, have patience, prune it. It's going to look like you've killed it. But when you do that, it's going to have just use your imagination at the amount of grapes you're going to have. You're going to have grape juice, grape jam, grape everything. But I'm really excited. I've never had seedless grapes. I've never grown seedless grapes before, so I'm really excited about that. I want to show you another video. This one's just a little bit longer, and then we're going to come back again, a timeline on where you live. I want to show you how to find it. Okay, so we're back in the garden again, and I wanted to show you, I always like to put flowers inside the garden as well. It calls for the pollinators, and they absolutely love these beautiful sunflowers. And before I get started with the sweet potatoes, I wanted to show you what the golden potatoes look like. They're beginning to, leaves are kind of turning a different color. I've had to kind of thin them out just a little bit so we can get some airflow. And we're excited about the potatoes that we're going to be developing in probably just a few more weeks. So it looks like they're about to get tired. And once they start dying back, guess what? You got some awesome potatoes down under there. And that's great. Just another vision of the sunflowers. Like to keep those in the garden. And those are great pollinators. Again, my bees are all over them. Another neat thing about these is you're going to get seed. You'll never be without seed. Once these things seed over, you're going to be able to plant beautiful sunflowers over and over again out in your garden. So you can see right here, we've got all of these absolute awesome tomato plants that are going on right now, and they're blooming. So we're going to be getting some tomato sandwiches coming up pretty soon. But I wanted to show you something else that came from seed. And this is my marigolds. I love marigolds. And let me tell you about marigolds. A lot of bugs are resistant to these things. They do not like the fragrance of marigold. But I love them out in my garden. This is a lettuce variety. It's called the Mini Coat Colors of Joseph. Joseph's Mini Coat of Many Colors. And then take a little quick look down there at all of those tomato plants. We're all excited about those. We thought, a lot of folks said, Donna, you're going to lose those. Well, we didn't lose them. As a matter of fact, we got more than we know what to do with. And then again, you saw the zinnias right here, along with all the lettuces coming in. I'm going to walk you back around, see more of the beautiful, beautiful sunflowers growing. But sunflowers, if you love flowers, it's beneficial to your garden. And of course, you can see all of the plants that are here. Oh, that's a tomato. Now, this is the aroma, but anyway, that would be a tomato sandwich just waiting to happen. This is just a little freak seed I threw out here. It's a marigold and it's coming up. And again, tomatoes, 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 tomatoes. What am I going to do with all these? Well, I'm going to find a way. We're going to dry a lot of them. And we're going to can them. We're going to have some tomato sauce. We're going to do spaghetti sauce. And we're going to do salsa with a bunch of these too. Now, this is another variety right here of a pepper. It's jalapeno, but it's not a hot jalapeno. It's called the cold jalapeno. And so I know Phil, he loves hot foods, but the problem is it bites him right back. So I told him, I said, let's try this variety and just see what happens. We're going to let one go to seed, and then we'll plant a lot more next year. So take a look at those little tomatoes coming up from seed. Okay, let's go ahead and take another little walk back here. I just threw a whole bunch of marigold seeds, and you can see what they're doing. They're coming up. We're going to plant them all out in the garden. Here, the peanuts are coming up. I think I counted about 40 of these things coming up. And there's two different varieties of peanuts, so I'm excited to see how each one of these varieties turns out. Again, there's a beautiful flower that's in the making. It's going to come up pretty soon. And another absolutely stunning, beautiful, beautiful sunflower. Okay, so I've planted potato slips down in here. We did this, Phil and I did this about 2 days ago, right before that crazy rain started hitting. But now I've got another one, and see, it's got a root on it. You can see that. And another thing I noticed about this little baby, he's ready to be put in the ground. Look at there. So that's coming out. And every one of these, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think there are 9 different plants out here, but let's go on ahead. I think we've got room for another one. So let's go on ahead and start digging. I think that looks just as good as anything right there. Okay, dig it just enough. And then we're going to put this potato plant. I'm even going to leave the little stick on it right there. And we're just going to place it in here. Now remember, sweet potatoes, anything with a root on it, they're going to grow a lot better if you'll give them a little bit of depth. Not just all the way down in the ground, but just give them a little bit of depth and be very gentle when you're putting that into the ground. See, there we go. There's his slip. That's going to be coming up before you know it, and it'll be coming up above the ground. All right, let's go ahead and cover him. Let's be gentle with him. And there we go. All right, that's going to be another sweet potato in the making. And all we did, we just got him. Remember, saw the previous video. We just got him, and we just threw him into that water right there. Okay, I don't know about you, but I'm really excited about watching this garden grow and all the different varieties of things that have come out. Can't wait to see what those little small pumpkins are going to be like. I just threw out a bunch of seeds. I didn't think they would all come up because they're older seeds, but they're small pumpkins. They're going to be a little bit bigger than your fist. They're probably about twice as big as your fist. So I'm really excited about that coming up. But I want to take you out here. Let's take another little walk. Yep, hi tomatoes. Can't wait for a tomato sandwich. Talk to your plants. They love it. They're lonely out here by themselves. Okay, so you can see all the blooms, and these are spaghetti squashes. Yeah, if you're watching your diet, maybe low carb or whatever, these squash are really good for spaghetti. And when you crack them open, you'll cut it open with a knife, and you're going to see inside that looks like spaghetti. All you're going to do is get you a spoon and dish that out, put some ground beef, and put some salsa with it, and you've got spaghetti the vegetable way. And take a look, there's a whole bunch of them coming out. We'll keep you informed just as soon as more things develop out here in the garden. Thank you for watching. The beans are absolutely going nuts. They love being out here in the raised garden as well. We've got a bunch of blooms that are coming up on a bunch of them. So you can see everybody's happy. And so we're going to do some canning before you know it. But again, thank you so much for watching. And I can't wait for canning time. I love that just as much as I do having the garden. It's going to be so much fun. Just a couple of minutes left in the segment. So let's go ahead and talk about how to find out when to plant and when to harvest in your area. Because what I'm telling you here works for South Carolina, but this is out in West South Carolina. And let me tell you, it's just like Alabama. Alabama was like you had the mountains and everything up in the north. And then down in the south, you have the beach area. So that is just absolutely two different zones right there. So same thing for South Carolina and for North Carolina and some of your other borderlining states. And also north and south, it's just totally different. All you've got to do is go to the USDA website, and there will be a place where you can just type in your zip code. That's all you got to have. And it'll tell you everything that you need to know about harvest. So let's go ahead and talk about it if I've got just a minute. But first of all, I wanted to talk to you. We talked about Yukon Gold potatoes, and you saw the video. Well, since I made that video, it's died back even more. So this weekend, I'll have another video so you can see what those Yukon Golds look like. And I can hardly wait myself. Now, onions, you're going to harvest them when the tops start falling over, just like, almost like potatoes, and when they turn brown. Now, garlic, you want to harvest that when the lower leaves turn brown. So there's just little things you need to look at. Lettuce, radishes, finish before the heat gets too strong, or get a shade cloth and put that over them as well. Now, herbs, you can go ahead and start regular clippings on them. June, we're in the month of June right now. So tomatoes, the first harvest likely is going to be mid to late June. It just depends on when you put those out there. Cucumbers, now again, this is for Abbeville, South Carolina. Cucumbers begin picking once about 6 to 8 inches long. Beans, you can begin picking them about 50 to 60 days after you plant those. Summer squash, zucchini, pick young and pick often. Sweet potatoes, keep those vines watered and growing. Now, the July timeline coming up again. Tomatoes, you've got heavy production. I mean, almost as soon as you pick one, there's another one coming back in. Peppers, steady picking. Cucumbers, you got strong production going on there. You're going to be making a lot of pickles. The watermelon and cantaloupes, they're going to start watching the tendrils and the color on those. Basil, you're going to harvest that often before it starts flowering, okay? Because it's not as fresh tasting. It's still good. I could eat basil all the time, all year. But I'm just saying, try to do as much as you can before it starts flowering. Now, in August, sweet corn, melons, late tomatoes, and then you've got your peppers and your beans. Then you're going to start your fall garden seeds. That's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm going to have broccoli, cabbage, collards, kale, carrots, beets, and lettuce again. September and October, sweet potatoes are ready to harvest, but you need to do it before frost, usually about 90 to 120 days after you plant those slips. Now, fall greens, you're going to start harvesting those, and then your pumpkins and the winter squash, can't wait to get those in. Harvest those when the rinds start hardening and the stems start drying. Now, if they're a little bit greenish, don't harvest them yet. Okay, they won't be ready. In November, garlic planting time. You want to mulch the beds, and then you want to plant and refresh your strawberries, the herbs, and the perennials. This is Donna's garden rule. Pick often, water deeply, and don't let the weeds think they own the place. You're the boss here, okay? Thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com.